City Talks with Reuben Abati.
Hello, good afternoon out there, and welcome to another edition of your number one talk show, City Talks with Reuben Abati, on your number one lifestyle station in Lagos City, 105.1 FM. On this show, we talk about stories of political and human interest that affect us all as citizens of Nigeria, and which also impact on our daily lives and our society. And today, on this program, my guest is none other than the Governor of Edo State, His Excellency Godwin Nogheghase Obaseki. As you know, of course, already, the election, the gubernatorial election in Edo State will take place next week, 1 week from now, September 19. And here we have, in that two-horse race, one of the principal candidates, Godwin Obaseki, His Excellency Governor of Edo State. Now, Godwin Obaseki was sworn in as a governor on the 12th of November 2016. He's a first-degree holder in classics from the prestigious University of Ibadan, as well as an MBA, Masters in Business Administration, that is, in both finance and international business, first from Columbia University and also from Pace University, New York. He is also a fellow of the Chartered Institute of Stockbrokers Nigeria, and at a time he served as an executive board member of several private companies, including Afrimest, which he founded. He is a recipient of many awards, including the Nigerian Union of Teachers Award for Best Performing Governor of the Year in 2019. And of course, you know that the election process in Edo State has been very controversial. Many issues have been raised. And, you know, the governor himself has had to respond to many of those issues. So, as I said, it's a two-horse trade, it appears, between the All Progressives Congress candidate, Pastor Ize Iyamu, and the People's Democratic, the PDP candidate, Governor Godwin Obaseki. It is my pleasure to welcome His Excellency now live via Zoom and on air for him to respond to most of the issues that have been raised and what he has done, why he thinks that he deserves a second term, and how he hopes all of this will play out.
City Talks with Reuben Abati.
The Governor of Edo State, Godwin Obaseki, it's a joy and a great pleasure to have you on this program, City Talks. I was told, as we prepared for this conversation, that Lagos State has the second largest population of Edo people, apart from in Edo State. And what that means, of course, is that, well, many of them may not come to Edo State to come and vote, but they will have influence, they will have a voice in the matter. And in any case, our station, City FM, we are available online. And this conversation is going to be available internationally, online, on Instagram, on Zoom, and on any available platform, including YouTube. Your campaign slogan is "Making Edo Great Again." And you've already visited 192 wards in Edo State as you prepare for a second term. Now, why should Edo State people vote for you a second term? Why? What are those major achievements that you think justify your interest in a second term in office?
Thank you very much, Reuben. First, I want to thank you for inviting me and putting up this show, and to let you know that, like you said, Edo people are very, very very resilient people, very strong-willed, very industrious, very hardworking people. No wonder you have quite a lot of them in Lagos, outside of Edo, and in fact almost everywhere in the world. One thing they were not happy with before I came into office was the condition in Edo State that didn't attract a lot of them back home. A lot of them have made investments outside Edo, which they would have loved to bring back home. But the atmosphere, the environment in Edo State wasn't conducive or encouraging until I came into office about 4 years ago. And so from just the perspective of the political orders, stability, the law and order, the business environment, the support, the supportive structure which government has put in place, the kind of reforms we've done as it relates to social services, the fundamental reforms in education, in healthcare, in infrastructure. I could go on and on. These are just where we've had a remarkable shift. And as you know, 4 years is not enough. 4 years is like the ground up, the foundation phase, and having put in the very solid foundations, the basis for all these fundamental changes and shifts. It's only proper and responsible to continue for another 4 years so that you can consolidate on the direction you have set, which we have set. I could go on, specifically, but let me just wait and take other, specific questions.
Well, we'll come back to that, I'm sure. I have a number of issues in that regard. But you completed your campaign in 192 wards that we have in Edo State. What is the kind of feedback that you are getting from the people? Because opinion is divided as to whether it's the elite that like you or is the grassroots people that like you. What kind of feedback are you getting, and what's your reaction to some of the issues that have been raised in terms of whether the people like you or is the elite that like you?
Thank you. First, I think you have to see our campaign structure in the light of the evolution of our democracy, and that it's not commonplace. In fact, most people we visited, most wards said this was the first time a senior political actor like a governor will even visit their communities. So, from a democratic standpoint, we've actually made a shift. We're helping in the maturation of the process, where we are taking the campaigns to where people live in their wards. And as you understand with a democratic structure, the ward is the hub of the political system, of the political process. And so from a political standpoint, it was very welcoming. People were very excited. Secondly, unlike in the past, when you go and campaign only at the local government, you had local government campaigns or rallies. At best, you would have 5,000 people in a particular location. This time around, just going through 10 words in a local government with an average of 2,000 to 3,000 people in each appearance, I reached over 30,000 people in any local government compared to the 5 or so. So it's also helping with voter awareness and bridging the gap between the governed and the governor. In terms of feedback, it's been, amazing. It was amazing. And I will look at feedback from several perspectives. First, for me, the governor, it was an eye-opener to see the situation, the conditions which our people live, particularly outside of the main metropolis, and the recurring themes, what affects them: infrastructure, roads, electricity was one issue that came up in almost all the 192 wards we visited. Then it also helped to understand and meet at home who the key actors, the key political actors, the people that make things happen in the communities. So for me, overall, I would say it was just a phenomenal, it was very exciting experience. I couldn't believe that in 5 weeks, I went around this entire state and I still had the energy, I still have the energy to continue. So I want to thank God for the experience. I want to, say that I'm really privileged to be playing in the political space at this time and bringing in the kind of innovation we're bringing in, and that the response from our people have just been overwhelming. Everywhere we went, it was 4+4. And whether it's elites or it's the common man, because we have provided services across the spectrum. The roads we've built are used across, by all spectrum of society. The schools, educational reforms, yes, these are public schools, and a lot of ordinary people send their children to those schools. And so, yes, to that extent, you can say the masses. But we've also done things for the elites. We have put in place 400 kilometers of fiber around Edo State, and so we're perhaps one of the most connected states in terms of fiber connectivity. We're rebuilding the public service, renewing the civil service. We could just go on. And so I think the feedback from the 192 World Tour has been quite amazing and rousing.
Your Excellency, in this election, you are wearing two caps. You are a candidate now in the People's Democratic Party. You are also the Chief Security Officer of the state. Now, the big concern about Edo State is a threat of violence, the reign of banditry and thuggery. Now, as Chief Security Officer of the state, what steps are you taking, and what are you doing to make sure that the integrity of the electoral process is protected in collaboration with all the relevant agencies of the state, including INEC, the police, the DSS, and all parties concerned?
You're right. It's a very tricky situation where I have to be very careful and cautious not to be accused of unduly using state power to my advantage, and therefore, if you notice, I have borne the brunt of attacks from the opposition, even physical attacks. Though I'm supposed to be the chief security officer with the power of coercion in the state, I've hardly used that. So my posters are torn, cars bearing my stickers are smashed. And in one or two cases, I've been attacked personally. But I always, maintain restraint. But I also you have to understand some of the issues at stake in this election. Because one of the things I did very early on when I came into office was to try and rein in the known thugs and thugs and touts in the system. Quite a few of the very active ones were taken out and were locked up for a while, and we had sanity restored to the states, to our marketplaces, unfortunately, some of them are out again, and this is the last opportunity they feel they have to reestablish their reign, because they now have patrons in some of their, from the opposition party. So they've transformed themselves into lions and tigers, waiting to attack the citizens of Edo State. And they've tried to, with some limited success, do so up till now. I believe the issue of violence, it's more of a threat of violence, as a strategy of the opposition to suppress voters, to create apathy, to make sure people don't come in the numbers that we expect them to. They know that on election day, the security forces will provide enough security. I trust the president. I trust the IG of police. That are the IG of police served as the AIG Zone 5 before he became the Inspector General. So we know him well, and he knows they do well. And he will maintain order. He knows what to do in Edo, and they know it. So it's more the threat of violence. It's more hyping, the fact that there will be violence. You could see it in their videos. All over the net. The known touts. Hobnobbing with my opponent and with the former chairman of the party. And if you drive in Benin as I speak, if you drive up to his house now, he has tons of soldiers. This is a non-state actor who has almost a battalion of soldiers as I speak, all to create that sense of fear in the people. But like I said, we're sensitizing our people. There will not be violence on that day. It's just to scare them away from the polls.
Obaseki, you have brought in a subject that inevitably I will have talked about. You said your predecessor in office, Comrade Adams Oshiomhole. I recall that in 2016, at your inauguration ceremony, you described him as a mentor and as a man that you will always adore. But we've seen that your disagreement with him has been a major factor in this electoral process. What happened? I mean, a father and a son, a mentor and a brother, they can quarrel. But what interests the rest of us in Nigeria is that your fight looks irreconcilable. I mean, what exactly is the problem? Because even if you are members of the same family, you reconcile. But the two of you have not been able to reconcile.
Reuben, thank you very much for this question. I think the issue is about values. Members of the family, we thought we shared the same values. We thought we inherited the same sets of ideals, right? And it's a situation, it's akin to being, a family and an elder brother who has always preached to us, told us about values, what the family stands for, what we should not do, what we should do, how to, and we, effectively was able to convince us that we should come together to ward off, ward off the thieves from outside who were trying to raid, the family house. And, we believed it and we worked as such. And suddenly as you grow up, you then realize, wait a minute, this brother is actually the patron of those thieves that we're trying to ward off. How do you think the family would feel? It's like we've grown up with certain values. We thought we shared certain values. And then suddenly you just realize, after he became national chairman, that, it was just, we had been deceived, deceived thoroughly. How do you now rebuild your life? That is what's at stake. It's about values. It's about, values like, law and order. It's values about impunity. Because the fundamentals, the foundation of our democracy is about law and order. So when, someone, who you looked up to, you fought with, at the own cost of your life to bring about democracy, to bring about a process, goes out violently, work against that, and we began to see other aspects of him, which we did not know earlier. I mean, so for us, that's not the person we knew. That's not the person we started with. Clearly something happened, and something has happened. We don't know what it is.
Well, Your Excellency, we'll take a short break now, a commercial break, and after that commercial break, we'll come back to you. Please stay with us. We'll be right back.
City Talks with Reuben Abati.
Come back from that commercial break, and for the benefit of those who are just tuning in, welcome to City Talks with Reuben Abati on your number one lifestyle station, City 105.1 FM. I remain your host, Reuben Abati, and today our guest is none other than the Governor of Edo State, His Excellency Godwin Obaseki. And remember, if you want to be part of this conversation, you can reach us on the following number: 0700-105-11051, and on WhatsApp you can join us on 09099164403. I'll repeat that again. If you want to join us on this conversation, you can join us on 0700-105-11051. That's via phone. And on WhatsApp, 09099164403. But you have to hold on a bit. I'm still, having a conversation with His Excellency Godwin Obaseki, the Governor of Edo State and PDP candidate in the gubernatorial election on September 19, 2020 in Edo State. Your Excellency, thank you very much. You just talked about Comrade Adam Soshomole. But I'd like to ask you this. He's not alone. There are other people in Edo State. There is even one major stakeholder who is saying that he will spend his last kobo that you do not get a second term in office. Is a problem with such persons and even some of the personalities who resigned from the government, people that you even recruited yourself, chief of staff, commissioners, members of the board of the Edo State Oil and Gas Commission. Is there a problem also about values?
Well, yes, we clearly don't share the same ideals. Anyone who has worked hard for his money legitimately will not spend that last kobo on politics. And so, it sticks around for the people who have resigned. It just shows, the way our values here. I knew most of them were, their appointments were influenced by, our predecessor in office. We knew they were still aligned to him, but we kept them there and we waited for them to leave. Even if it were he would have fired them. So that's why I talk. It's about values, the way we see life, the way we see politics. One of the commissioners that resigned from the Oil and Gas Commission was his younger brother, who we kept, even though we'd had this, crisis or issues with him for more than a year. We still kept him. We don't play politics of vendetta. So it's about values, about what we think the political system should be, and what we're striving to achieve. For us, we're in politics to serve our people. We're in politics to commit the very limited public resources to stretch to provide as much services as we can for people. But for a few others, it's politics and government is where to come and build fortunes, where you get contracts at inflated prices and make your fortune. So for them, that's the fundamental changes, which we thought we agreed with him in 2008 when we came into office, and not realizing that, hey, look, that he didn't really mean it. But unfortunately, yes, we accept we're deceived, but now that we know, we'll stick to what we know. So it's about values. It's about how we see democracy and how we engage with democracy. What people fail to realize that the tactics, the methods we adopted in 1999 at the beginning of this republic cannot be the same today. Democracy under this republic is about, it's more than 21 years. And so even a kid that was born 21 years ago is already a man. You don't expect he would not have changed. Certain aspects of him will not, have changed or be revealed. So that's the same thing about our democracy. A lot of the actors still see our democracy the way they saw it 20 or 10 years ago. But, you and I know that things have changed. Today, you have a lot more influence from technology. You have a lot more influence from social media. And, political process and people are being disintermediated. And it therefore calls for a new approach to how to use political power for the benefit of our people.
Well, Your Excellency, it's 1 week to the election in Edo State. You want a second term. You have visited 192 wards. You have told Edo people you want to make Edo State great again, a mega campaign. 1 week to the election. Are you nervous, considering, the strength of the opposition from Oshomole, from other persons, from the main challenger in what looks like a two-horse race? Are you nervous or you are confident?
I'm not nervous. I'm very confident. Firstly, I have implicit belief and trust in God that it is about Him. He's the one that has brought us this far. And it's clear from the way we have, what has happened over the last 2.5 years, that God is with us. If not, wouldn't be. As national chairman of a party, disqualified me arbitrarily, and I'm still in the race. So it can only be God. And so I am, and therein lies my confidence. But more importantly, on ground, my opposition is only strong in the media. They are not strong on ground. We own the land. We have occupied the land. They have not campaigned as rigorously as we have. But more importantly, we are connected with our people. There are things we have done. The issues are clear. What are the issues in this campaign? It's about a decision about building on what we have started, continuing with the shifts that we have started, which is benefiting the mass of Edo people, or going back to the dark days, of the Godfather determining how the state is run, and using his enforcers, what Oshamole calls his infantry, to enforce unruliness, to enforce arbitrariness, on our people. So the issues are very clear in this election. Do people want to move forward? Do they want us to build on the good things we've started? Do they want us to continue to have, an atmosphere of law and order where market women can go about their businesses, not being harassed by thugs, the lions and the tigers, who are now waiting to pounce on them? Is it about going back to the days where we pretended we had education when the children were not learning? Is it back to the days where salaries were not being paid on time and where pensioners, were draped in black clothes, mourning and protesting? People don't want to go back to those dark days. They want to go forward. So I don't really know who. I don't really know where their support of this lies. It's except in the media. The attacks from the APC against PDP, because you check with the police. Most of the attacks have been against my supporters, and we have seen a drastic reduction since that peace meeting. Even though they still paste over the place, still tearing posters, but those posters can be replaced. But we're not seeing shootings, except an incident a couple of days ago where they shot themselves, in Orion, where they went campaigning. I think there was disagreement as to sharing money, and the two factions, exchanged bullets, and I think one or two people died. Even they tried to hide it, cover the story.
Well, our lines are now open. I see that there are a lot of comments already on Twitter. This is Uwade Olaoluwa at Olaolu Uwade saying Godfatherism should be well practiced for the interest of people, not for the party and vested interest, because Godfatherism phenomenon is universal. What other comment do we have there? So many.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
Well, yes. You see, in politics, like in most other things in life, you have people who mentor, people who give directions to younger people. Lots of young people who work with me now, they look up to me. They want to, access power through me. But what I've done is to, create an open space, an open platform, and to say, look, if you work hard, if you are diligent, and you have the people's interest at heart, and you're committed to the general good, then yes, I will continue to support you. But it's not about you serving me; it's you serving the ideals we believe in, which is these are democratic ideals. Yes, you will always have people who play the role of mentors. Even in Christianity, there's an allowance for godfathers. In fact, that what comes, out of the church, which is to say that you have, someone in Christ, the Father in Christ, who leads you in the way of Christ. So, there's nothing wrong with having leaders, political leaders, who will nurture you, encourage you, and teach you. But it does not mean that therefore all decisions should just be for the benefit of you, the Godfather, and his clique or coterie of people. They are there to serve the mass of the people.
Obaseki, if you happen to win on September 19, what is it that you will do differently during your second term in office? And if you lose, will you accept the outcome and congratulate the opponent?
If I lose justly and fairly, if I lose because I did not get majority of people voting for me, yeah, of course I will congratulate, and I accept it. But if you say I lost an election because you manipulated me out, you rigged me out, do you think, Reuben, it's right for me to accept, a process that tampers with our democracy? And what will I do differently? I think I'll do more of the same, what I have done before. Yes, we're not perfect, but we want to build on the successes. For instance, education. By the end of this year, the children under my DOBES program will be, they'll have 2 years left, to graduate from the DOBES program. You have the first 6 years. These children are on the year 4 now, and so I need to, with the quality of education they are receiving at the basic level, I need to plan for them as they get into junior secondary and also senior secondary. We started work on making, on encouraging a lot of young people to go into technical schools. We'll rebuild the Benin Technical College. I need to build 20 such technical colleges. In terms of engaging youths, we refurbished and renovated the Old Stadium into a world-class facility. We're building 20 mini stadia across the state. I need to complete all of them. I need to finish them. I need to introduce more sports curriculum into our educational system. I need to get open spaces where people can go and work out, do exercises, and relax. But more importantly, I need to make sure that governments who come ahead of me, the subsequent governments in the future, don't go through what I've gone through, which is to say, you take over government and there's no plan. Government exists and plan on an annual basis based on a budget. So for me, I think what I look forward to, what I'll do, well, it's in a plan, so I won't say I'm doing it differently, is to ensure that I leave behind a 30-year development plan, which will encompass a regional plan, our urban plans, our economic plans, and social plans, so that subsequent governments, administrations can see the direction in which the state should progress. One of the things I am going to do differently or emphasize is to continue building institutions, particularly government institutions, the civil service. I'm in a process where, because we have an aged civil service, we're going to be hiring a lot of younger people into the civil service, reviewing the processes, systems, and procedures, introducing a lot more technology so that government can now offer better quality services and more efficient services to our people. It means that I have to train our civil servants, train and retrain them, give them skills, make them more technologically aware and compliant. So it's about building institutions, because people will come and go, but the institutions will remain. So that's the direction we're.
Well, Governor Obaseki, it looks like we have a caller on the line. Please, if you're making a call, identify yourself and make your question very brief.
Yeah. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. Good to have you
Mr. Reuben.
on City Talks 105.1 FM.
Yeah, first time caller, sir.
Please go ahead.
Yes, sir. Okay. I just want to greet the Excellency. Good afternoon, sir. My this thing is that he should keep on his good work that he's doing at Benin. He should keep it up. And I can assure you, with the support of the people around him, he's going to win the election. Quote me, Mr. Reuben Abati, I'm telling you nothing but the truth. Just when he gets into the second and into his office, he should try to carry the people along. He should remember the people that voted in him. So that is my contribution. He should make sure that he remembers the people. That it is. Thank you very much, sir. You are doing a nice work, Mr.
Thank you very much. Your Excellency, I hope you had that caller. He's commending you. He says you are doing a good work and you should continue to do well in the interest of the people of Edo State. Hello? Hello, Governor Obaseki.
Sorry, I lost you for a bit. Yes, I lost you a bit, Reuben.
Okay, yes, I said he was commending you, and he says he wishes you well, and he expects you to continue to work in the interest of the people of Edo State. That's basically what he said.
Thank you very much. And Reuben, I mean, 80% of the people of Edo who live in Edo, who associate with Edo, that is the way they feel, and that's the feedback we're getting. That we should continue what we're doing. That people are impressed, they can see a future, they can see hope, they understand why we are being, the fight, what the fight is all about, and that we should not be afraid, and we will not be.
Well, it looks like there's another caller on the line. Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to City Talks at City FM 1051 FM. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, yes, good afternoon. Welcome to 1051 FM.
Good afternoon. You are doing a wonderful job.
Thank you.
I want to let the governor know that he is the Messiah that God has sent to deliver Edo State. I am Brother John from school. Hello.
Hello, I can hear you, Brother John.
Yes, Governor Obaseki has been sent by God to rescue Edo State. The situation in Nigeria is because of the problems that are being caused by those who are having their own stomach and their own selves. They are selfish people, like the so-called Governor Obaseki. With due respect to him, he disappointed Nigerians. Hello, sir.
Listen to you.
I am not campaigning for Obaseki. I am asking that Obaseki should be focused. He is fighting injustice, and God is going to use him to rescue Edo State. And by the power of God Almighty, he will come to Abuja very soon and rescue Nigeria. May God bless you and your station for the good work you are doing.
Thank you very much, Brother John. Your Excellency, Governor Obaseki, I hope you heard him.
Some actors, political actors, really think that the people of the people of Nigeria or citizens are stupid. They are not. The fact that they've kept quiet and they've, borne the brunt of misgovernance doesn't mean yet they don't think or they don't have brains. It's because of that attitude, it's because of that view. That's why someone like Anashomole Cook, 4 years ago, tell Edo people that, look, Pastor Ezeyamu cannot be trusted. It should not be that he didn't trust him. That is why he could not give him any official position in his government. And 4 years later, you're coming back to tell the same Edo people that is the person you want to be governor. It just shows you have no respect for them. You have no respect for their intelligence. You think you are smarter than them, and that's what we see in the whole political space. That once you have political power, once you're a governor or you have authority, then the people you are governing have no sense of their own, or they cannot think through issues for themselves.
Do we have another call out there on Twitter, on Instagram? Or
Hello, YouTube? Reuben, are you there?
Yes, I'm here, Your Excellency. We're taking one more call, and then we'll wrap this up. Hello?
Hello?
Hello? Hello, do you have a question for His Excellency, the Governor of Edo State?
I have a question.
Yes, please go ahead.
Mr. Governor, good afternoon. God bless you, sir. Yeah, I take on this afternoon, I want to ask, why is it that Adam Soshomole is now the one that is contesting with you, not even Ezeyamo. Why is it so? So because godfatherism, we have already said no to godfatherism in Edo State. So why is it so? That's my question. God bless Nigeria in Jesus' name.
Hello, Governor Obaseki. Did you hear him? He was asking you why is Comrade Oshomole the candidate? Why is it the one that appears to be competing with you? Okay, we seem to have lost the connection there. We've been talking for almost 1 hour with His Excellency Godwin Nogheghase Obaseki, the incumbent governor of Edo State. Oh, Your Excellency, you are back with us.
Yes, sorry, I lost you.
Okay, very quickly, we took the last question, and the gentleman was asking, why is it that it's Oshomole, Comrade Oshomole, that appears to be the one competing with you in this election? And that as far as he is concerned, Ezeyamo doesn't seem to be even on the table.
Well, that's the issue. This election is between myself because if it were not, then what you ask, what is Oshomole's interest? You know, he has served his 8 years, so why is he interested? What, you know, he can't argue that he is now the enduring spokesperson for Edo people. Why wouldn't he just allow the person he went to bring from another part to contest against me? The reason why he disqualified me, so that so for me the contest in fact is between myself and Oshomole. I defeated Pastor Yamo the last time when I didn't have, even before I got into the office of governor. So he stands no chance against me. Perhaps Oshomole feels he has a chance, and so that is what we're going to test next week, September 19th.
Well, Your Excellency, we wish you all the best as you go to the polls next Saturday. But what's your parting word for the electorate in Edo State?
And that they should not be afraid, that they should come out massively that day to come out to participate and vote, and that the security agencies have assured Nigerians, have assured Edo people that there will be safety and security on the day of the election, and that INEC has assured us that they will conduct a free, transparent, and fair election. So they should just come out and vote and not be scared.
No. I mean, I even they went when I come out yesterday. No.
The governor of Edo State for joining us on City Talks with Reuben Abati on City FM 1051 FM. Thank you very much, Your Excellency. We look forward to developments in Edo State on September 19, and we hope that all will be well. You've been listening to City Talks with Reuben Abati on City FM 1051 FM.
City Talks with Reuben Abati.